Welcome back again. As you all know that we are doing our major author literature series, and in that series we took our first writer, that was William Shakespeare. So in the continuation of that series, today we are going to learn about Shakespearean tragedy, right? So let's begin. So as you can see in your screen, first of all, there has been given some important facts regarding William Shakespeare tragedy. As you know very well that Shakespeare is the greatest dramatist of his age, and especially well renowned for his tragedies, right? So the very first fact regarding Shakespearean tragedy is A.C. Bradley. A Shakespearean tragedy can be divided into three parts. So, a great writer whose name is A.C. Bradley, he himself described the Shakespearean tragedy into three major parts. So, I'm going to elaborate each and every part. So, then the very first part, A.C. Bradley said that Shakespearean tragedy is an exposition of the state of affairs, right? So, Shakespeare generally expose his tragedies to in which he stay in which his state he lives, right? So he elaborate as well as explore the state of affairs, means at like you know that Shakespeare belongs to the Elizabethan age, so his tragedies mostly revolve around the facets of Elizabethan age, like the conflicts, like the things around which is going on the Elizabethan age politics. So Shakespeare depicted all these things very beautifully and transferred all the facets into his tragedies. That is why A.C. Bradley explored or divided his tragedies the three parts. So the first part is this, and the second one is the beginning, growth and vicissitudes, right? Important one, the beginning, growth and vicissitudes of the conflict. So AC Bradley said that the Shakespearean tragedy revolves around the beginning of that Elizabethan era, the growth of the Elizabethan era, as well as the vicissitudes of the Elizabethan era. So the meaning of that term vicissitudes, it means that, as you can see in your screen, it is written over here, a change of circumstances or fortune, typically one that is unwelcome or unpleasant, right? So you will found the elements of vicissitudes. As you know that vicissitude is also the element of any kind of tragedy, and if we talk a particular about the Shakespearean tragedy, so the element of vicissitude is there, means obviously there is a lot of circumstances, changes of fortune, and these changes and these circumstances that is built by William Shakespeare in his tragedies are not very welcoming. They are, or obviously they are unpleasant. That is why it is required as tragedy. Some kind of conflict like situation will be there in the tragedies of William Shakespeare. And the third part, which AC Bradley described, is he gave the term, means the final catastrophe or tragic outcome. So you will definitely going to found this final element that is called with the catastrophe or the tragic element. So here the catastrophe means an event causing great and usually sudden damage or suffering, means everything is going good, everything is going fair, suddenly a catastrophe element occur, and the catastrophe element suddenly changes the whole situation in a very unwelcoming manner, right? Means a sudden breakdown of an event that just usually come and it damage a lot and give a lot of pain or suffering to the main characters of his plays. So that is why this is very important that AC Bradley described the tragedies of William Shakespeare into three parts, right? Let's move to the next point. So, the another point is that Shakespearean tragedy is primarily concerned with one person, the tragic hero. Means all the incidents, all the circumstances, all just revolved around the tragic hero of that particular play, right? So primarily the major concern, the major incidents revolved around the tragic hero. So the tragic hero in the Shakespearean tragedies are, it means the main character, the main narrator, the main protagonist of the play. Next element is, so here it is written, the tragic hero is a person with high social state raised above the rest. So this is the very important fact. Even this fact has been asked in the examination, that mostly about the Shakespearean hero, it is said that the hero always belong to the higher strata, right? The hero never belongs to the lower strata. The hero of William Shakespeare always belong to the higher strata, as well as holds higher authority and power. So the hero is quite powerful, but at the end, because of the catastrophe element, his doom arrives, right? So this is very important fact, please do remember. Next one is, he undergoes suffering as a result of his tragic flaw or error of judgment. So as I said, though the Shakespearean hero belongs to the higher strata and holds the higher authority of power, but then too he undergo with with a lot of suffering, and with this kind of suffering, so at the end it will be called as a tragic flaw in the, or the error of judgment in Shakespearean tragedy. And the next one is, the tragedy ends with the death of a tragic hero, however moral get restored. This is the another fact of Shakespearean tragedy, that it is the compulsion, or it get necessary in his tragic plays, that always there will be a death of the tragic hero. Means you will found that the main protagonist of Shakespearean tragedy, at the end of the play, that hero get died, as well as but after the death of the hero, but the play's morality get restored. So this is the another important fact regarding his tragedy. So these are the some important facts of Shakespearean tragedy. Let's move and remember the list of Shakespearean tragedy, as you can see in your screen. So the first the first play that falls under the Shakespearean tragedy is Romeo and Juliet, is a tragedy. Macbeth. Third one is King Lear. Fourth one is Hamlet. Fifth is Othello. Sixth is Titus Andronicus. Again, next one is Julius Caesar. So these all are the greatest Shakespearean tragedy, and in this list, even Macbeth, King Lear, Hamlet, Othello is considered the major greatest tragedy of William Shakespeare. So the question frequently asked from these plays of Macbeth, King Lear, Hamlet, and Othello. Moving to the another list of Shakespearean tragedy, next is Antony and Cleopatra. Next one is Coriolanus, and the next one is Cymbeline, and after that is the life of Timon of Athens, and the last one is the history of Troilus and Cressida. So these are all are the list of Shakespearean tragedy. So it will be helpful for you to identify that which play of William Shakespeare is considered as tragedy and which one is considered as comedy, and means the genres has been divided. If you know them, if you just remember the name, so you can easily identify them, that the play is either tragedy or comedy. So definitely it will be helpful for your exam. So that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for your listening. I have also made a video in of Shakespearean comedy too. If you haven't checked out that video yet, please go and watch it. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for your listening.